So Roberto very kindly agreed to collaborate with John Goodby, and unfortunately John yesterday got very ill and he couldn't attend from Swansea. So Roberto suggested I read his half of the collaboration first, and then Roberto will follow. So this is by John Goodby as part of the collaboration with Roberto Minardi, and it's called Elegy on Italian in Memory for My Mother. Lisa rinnong of yopper illness only la sola. After returning from holiday Italy, il bel paese, you hadn't wanted to disturb that cast a shodo the children, os breast a tumour as engorged size of a orange. In that land vo dizit dronen blumen, oh my big mama, all that time in Venedig, Venezia, we knew no inf. The fell cells crawling fatly, fetally, Aussie, Beati, blissfully unaware I loading up on Ariosto, and as you underwent the knife, we're on the Milan Espresso, me mislays my son's beloved Zebi. It's not guilt though, but vacants of vacancies. Mouth fungus, what a thin G. Primo d'ogni altro amore, but that Fatalian inn I learnt the landscape Lago di Garda, the lagoon is this lacuna blindly unaware of your dear peril and the words I tried to learn spell. There, the unspeakable, and go on learning, relearning, you are the absinthe, you are the witched. I'd been in every wad, I on every spring a different green, linoleum scrim nostalgia. Italian tongue that slides delitto into delitto, imagining a mother I could adore more. Overtly abject, oh cry you bastard, this is my dry remorse. Or may I woo thee in early Sicilian? Sweater girl Niotta of my blurred white Clark shoes, your favoured one, eldest, firstborn, brightest, there's first Memborias cast in blood. Infans, that school is now erased near the circle, where Mrs. Hill pleated sker ruled and pushed a bike uphill, you sobbing on same hill for the lost Joanne. On this bench fainted years, ich later and cod liver on King's at Nicked Road, Suffolk cube polio by the icy playground gate, a bandione. Bandywood and then slowly at home, with books of course, and we survive in the confusion of a life rebirthed outside reason. Bear my reports around in your handbag. I'll cherish you too, mama. Wrung, drunken, from Hull at 2 a.m., the La Tua Grazia allowing Roberto to stay all night. Teen cheroot glass bead game angst, smoking over chess, his father was Sicilian. Attending you horrified yet calm, waiting you starve, watching Cash in the attic, telling me what to do with the garden. I haven't, as if only you were to you going, too living too thick, too gross to detect you, your loving trick. I hardly feeling omst, nothing to you gone, knowing we'd walk together in death as in life. Index distinguished for Edna and Edna, amen.
So, good evening everybody, and so I've lived in England for over 15 years, but I've never written a poem in English before. So this is the first time. A sense of dissatisfaction normally overwhelms me when I try to write poetry in English, but I thought that Enemies was the right moment and the right opportunity to try at least. But of course I decided to take liberties with grammar and even adapt the language to the Italian rhythm. So John, who's not here tonight, John and I talked about different poetic trends in our countries, and he told me that he doesn't like the anecdotal traits of modern English poetry. So I decided that in order to irritate him, to annoy him, I was going to write a poem that was anecdotal. And I think I exceeded my own expectations because you're not here tonight. But anyway, so for this poem I set myself in one of the places where John grew up, that is Leeds. And based it on a personal, very weird experience I had in Leeds a very long time ago. And I also used some famous quotations from English poetry, and maybe you recognize them. and that's it. What came out as a sort of parody, I think. Song of a Southern European in Leeds. There was no fog but blinding lights as I descended all alone, and skinny trees for my delight. It must have been 10 years ago, or else the time I could still smoke. And there I am, a pub in Leeds, 3 ladies sitting at a table, sipping their drinks. I'm at the bar, my elbow leaning in grunge style, a pint of beer on the other hand. Perhaps the pressure was too much. What could I say about their city? I didn't know Mrs. Hill pushing their bike right up the hill, or how many hills it takes before you are allowed to roam in Leeds. There is no answer if you ask, for all I had was eyes to gaze, a stream of girls with naked legs and wobbly ankles, men in shirts, a marching army of French crops, red bricks so plain glazing with rain. What was I doing, I, in Leeds? Industrial. That's the word I think my friend the enemy grew up with. The exception of the bar woman, the attention was on me. And they laughed and looked and sneered. They tried to involve their masculine companion, yes, but I stood still and fierce and foreign. I demonstrated how to inhale, puffing away with elegance. I stared at them despite the mocking. I told myself in the absent audience, do not go gentle, dude, do not, for you're an Ellen, and they're not. Thank you.
It's my pleasure to introduce next Marco Fazzini and Douglas Reed Skinner.